Hey guys, good morning. We're continuing today talking about fighting the good fight. Paul's analogy of the Christian experience as being one of being like a soldier is terribly and incredibly appropriate to so many of us. We are in a battle, but we're on the winning team, so we're confident about that. But I want to suggest to you that this battle is fought on three fronts. The first front of this battle that we have is the internal battle that we have to fight. That is the battle that is going on in our heads and in our hearts. And if I have to be honest, and I will be, you know who your worst enemy is? You've guessed it, it's you. You are your own worst enemy. Our proneness to move towards self-destruction is huge. From the day you were born, there's something in us that creates a bias to let sin destroy us. So everything it cries out from within me, everything in me just cries out, I want my will and I want my way and I want to do things the way that I want to do them. And God is shaking his head and saying, no, that's not a good fight to fight. The battle you need to fight is external, not internal. And you've got to win the internal battle before you can possibly begin to win the external one. It's a battle of character. Now, you know, one of my favorite analogies is the analogy of an iceberg. And an iceberg, as you know, is 80% of the iceberg lies below the waterline. And only 20% of the iceberg is above the waterline, and that's all that you can see. So when you look at an iceberg, you're only seeing 20% of what that thing is really about. 80% lies below the waterline. And it's like that in our lives. You will never know more than 20% of who I am. Never. Because 80% of who I am is going on in here, and only I and God visit that place. So I can't bull dust God. I can't, hide from him. But I can hide it from you. And you know what? I can make myself look a lot better than I really am. You don't really know me, you know. You hear a few voices that I may speak and a few thoughts that I may have. But the character of who I am lies below the waterline of my personality, of my vision, my purpose, and my dreams. It's all below the waterline. Now that's why David cried out in Psalm 139, Lord, search me and know me. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and then lead me in the way everlasting. And it's this cry to say, God, I can't help myself. I am in desperate need of you being able to do something in me before you do something through me. You see, you have to win the battle in private before you can win it in public. Now, I love this. There's a beautiful picture of this. Young David, the one who came out of as a little shepherd boy, and when he stood before Goliath, King Saul said to him, what entitles you to stand before this giant? Have you not seen how big he is? You want to fight with this giant? You're but a 16-year-old or thereabouts young man. You've never been to war. You've never fought something of this size ever before. And David would have smiled and said, hey, you don't know who I really am. You don't know what's going on below the waterline of my heart and my head. I have fought bears. I have fought lions, and I have defeated them. Bring it on, giant. And now I can defeat him too. But you see what happened? David had to win those battles when nobody's watching. He fought the lion. He didn't have an audience of people to applaud him and say, hey, David, well done, you won the battle. When he beat the bear, he didn't have a bunch of public opinion people applauding him and saying, hey, way to go, David. He did that in private. So here's the deal so far. The greatest battle that we have to win is the battle that is internal in our heads and in our hearts. You can fool me and I can fool you, but we cannot fool God. We have to do some work below the waterline of our lives, the place where our character lives, the place where our values and our vision and our purpose and our motives and our morals and our ethics live. We got to do some work in private before we can do something magnificent in public. We got to win this battle first, people. It's a huge one, because at the end of the day, I do declare that I am my own worst enemy. I want to, if I can, read to you just a few verses that will point to this. It's rather dark, I'm sorry. Romans 7, the writer says this: "Why do I do the things I don't want to do, and do the things that I don't? O wretched man that I am." He's acknowledging, man, I'm a mess. O wretched man that I am, who will deliver me from this body of death? It looks hopeless. It looks like this body of death I'm carrying around is my sinful nature, is the stuff that needs to be taken and put to buried in a grave somewhere, and we carry it with us. And then he ends the verse by saying, "But thanks be to God, it is done in Jesus Christ." O wretched man that I am. The moment we declare that, we get God's attention, and he says, I have the answer to your wretchedness. It's found in Jesus. I hope you find that to be true, because it is. I'm going to talk more about that tomorrow. Cheers, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.